In this GYDA Talks, Robert talks to Serena Humphrey. For almost 30 years, she's been on a mission to help business owners get the life they want and deserve. She spent that time growing her knowledge around why, despite years of hard slog, most businesses either fail or just survive. In the early 90s, 3 things happened that changed the course of Serena's life and set her on a journey to help businesses. In 2012, Serena set up the F Word to achieve her mission. They provide high-impact training and coaching, helping put critical financial skills into businesses. Robert and Serena discuss: what is the mission and why? Why don't people get finance, and what if they did get it? Is there a way to take control? Plus, much more.
Hello and welcome to GYDA Talks, and it's absolutely my pleasure today to have as a guest Serena Humphrey from The F Word. So hello Serena.
Hello Robert, very nice to be here today, thank you.
Absolutely great to be here. So without further ado, let's just go straight in. So The F Word, come on, what is The F Word? Tell me what the F Word is.
The F Word, so my company is called The F Word, and we train business owners to understand their finances so that they can achieve financial freedom through their business. And it's called the F Word because it is most people's F word. Finance, most people are quite scared of it in business. It's not a thing that's kind of well understood amongst small business owners. So we're the F Word.
The F Word. So what's your background? How do you end up running, of all the things you could be doing in the world, how do you end up running the F Word, an organisation which is helping people understand what finance is?
Okay, so I'm a chartered management accountant, and I went through quite a traditional route in terms of qualified with Next and Northern Foods as a chartered management accountant. But it had always been my vision, mission, passion to set up my own business as soon as I got my qualifications. So I did kind of 10, 12 years in corporate land. But what preceded that in the early 90s was I had 3 personal financial disasters that really formed what I was going to do with my life. And the first thing that happened was that my parents, who'd been business owners since I was a baby, always had their own business, very entrepreneurial household I grew up in, and they lost their business and went bankrupt and lost their home in the early 90s recession. And so they were literally homeless and had to start again from scratch with nothing. And in those days they took everything, so they didn't come away from it with a lot. The second thing that happened was I was accounts manager for a very fast growing company. We'd gone from £500,000 to £10 million turnover in 3 years flat. Every issue you can imagine just from those numbers. And I was in charge of a team of 8 people running finance for a £10 million company. I was 22 years old, and all I knew about was cash flow. I didn't know P&L, I didn't know debits, credits. We didn't have any management accounts, and we crashed into receivership in early 93. And it was just the directors got an 8-year disqualification on the back of it because of how badly the business was being run, which is a pretty brutal disqualification. And then I lost my home in that recession as well. So parents homeless, I was homeless, business had gone down, 400 people lost their jobs. I had to make everyone redundant. I had to shut down the factory. I had to shut down our 80 stores all around the country. So it was a very brutal awakening for a 22-year-old. And it just,
brutal.
Yeah, and it's just kind of, I'm left going like, okay, well, that must be my fault. I'm head of finance. Clearly it's my fault. It's my problem. So after I beat myself up for a year, I thought, right, I need to go and become an accountant because I need to know what happened. And I need to know how that doesn't happen to anybody else. For those, the reason it's undercapitalised, overtrading, lack of financial control, lack of reporting. We were using reverse premiums to building all the new shopping centres. It was just a crazy, looking back now, once you understand it, it's like, what the hell? So that became the mission. Like, I have to qualify, I have to learn how small companies should run their finances so that I can go and teach people.
You're making it sound quite scary now, because I mean the whole thing about finance, the reason that agency owners will walk away from finance, finance control, the finance manager, the accountant can do it, is because the numbers are so, it's like a foreign language. So are you saying that you are taking the heebie-jeebies out of it? You're taking
absolutely, and that's why we call it the F word, because it is the thing that people go, oh my God, it's finance, I just don't want to know. So what you've just described there is what we call the abdication. business owners, probably 90% of business owners, abdicate all things financial because there are these walls of complexity built around it, partly by the accountants, by the language that we learn. We spend years learning a different language, and then we wonder why people don't understand. And you were just telling me an example before about, a business you work with where the financial controllers made it so complex, the owners are scared to go near it. So we are smashing down those walls. We're breaking through the jargon, and we teach business owners on our online membership academy how to understand it. But it's a step further than that, Rob. But it's about getting people excited and engaged in why the hell they're doing it. So we get people connected to what is it you want for your life, and your business is the enabler to make that happen for you. So they get that very deep personal connection to, like, I need the numbers to be this because I want this life. I want to achieve this. I want to give my family that. And when you get people connected emotionally with the numbers, it breaks down all those walls. And then they want to see their figures. And then also we train you, like, this is what your accountant should tell you. And if they're not, sack them. Find an accountant who does make it easy. And if they're putting the walls up and if they're just talking you through your zero P&L, then they're not doing their job. So we teach people what great looks like and what they should expect from their accountant. But it's all with this end game of, we all want financial freedom. And our business is the vehicle to give it to us. But most business owners, not only will they not get freedom, they won't even survive. Because as you know, most small companies fail. So it's how, the mission is overcoming, the failure points and getting them to the point where their business will give them that future they want.
So let's just unpick this, because there's a lot going on. So yeah, anyone who's seen me live knows I do this thing, and I say, what are the things you measure to tell you how good your business is? And people straight away come up with turnover, profit, revenue.
Don't care about turnover.
Thank you very much. Okay, the one thing they never come up with in a room of 100 or 1,000 or 2,000, unless of course they've been on one of your programs, or mine, they never come up with cash, which is like just totally bonkers as far as I'm concerned, because
cash and profit is all I care about. I don't care what your turnover is.
Yeah. Good. I love that. I love that idea. And people always come up with finance being the most important measures of the business. Now, my corollary, and let's just see how you and I get on about this, is that finance, but actually finance is a consequence of marketing and operations. So your financial performance, your profitability, the cash in hand, is a consequence of how good you are at selling your stuff and making the sale, and how good you are at delivering it, and how good you make that happen. So finance is a consequence of your marketing and operations. Now, you need to understand, what the end numbers are. But my thing really is that most agency owners, most business owners, they can't be dealing with the finance because it's kind of too abstract, or it's presented to them as a 5-dimensional graph, or it's always presented in terms of EBITDA, but we're going to use EBITDEC because it's more appropriate for the way that we're using Sage version 11.3 and kind of nonsense. And if it's not that, they don't get that. They don't really get marketing in terms of what I want is more customers, but I don't know how to get them, or I want more customers. I wish I could have a foolproof method of getting them. So what they do understand, because they are, like most business owners, technicians turned owners of businesses, they understand how to do the doing and pulling in. So they revert to type, and in the recession we saw, nearly every agency owner, founder, to some degree reverting to type, because it's easier to revert to type. I know what I can do. I can do what I've trained to do in order to make it happen. But that's not running a business. So there's a whole load of complicated stuff going on in that. So are you saying finance first? I guess that's the first thing I'd like to understand. Are you saying that the finance drives everything in the business?
No. So I think my belief is that marketing is the most important thing, because without marketing you haven't got income. Without income you haven't got profit. So within our online training program, there's actually a module about marketing. Not that I'm teaching marketing, but I'm saying you have got to have nailed your route to market, and how you bring customers into your business, because without that, you have no control over your future. Finance is the mirror. It's an enormous mirror that reflects back to the business everything that is going on in the operation. And that's what finance is. It's a tool to tell you, this is how things are. This is where I'm going. This is where I've been. These are my most important metrics. But if you get your numbers done properly, they're not dry numbers on a page. They are a mirror that tell a story. And that's when finance is exciting, because you can look at that, you can read the story and say, I can see what's going right, I can see what's going wrong, and I can see what I need to change quickly. So it's not the most important thing, but it is the mirror, and without it's a key part of it, isn't it? You can't not have it. You can't just be great at bringing work in and delivering it, because you might be making rubbish margin, over-delivering, over-servicing, making no gross margin. Your pipeline, your conversion might be rubbish. You've got to know those figures, and that's why you need the non-financials integrated with your financials, presented back as a story that is easy for you to understand. And that's different. Oh, here's your P&L.